Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. Have you ever been wanting to be a fly on the wall and want to know what kind of goes on behind the scenes at secretive meetings affecting PWD and British Columbia, or perhaps even other provinces? And we're going to go way back into the time machine. And we're going to take a look at what went on, the decision makings in meetings behind closed doors. And those doors were tightly shut and nobody knew what was going on in those meetings. And we're going to find out. Yes, we're going to find out. And we're going to talk about these things. So stay tuned. Today's show, we're going to be doing a reenactment of events that happened behind closed doors. And I'm going to be the big baddie. I'm going to be the leader of the party. And Neil is going to be a caucus. And remember, yeah. So I'm going to be the premier at the time, and the decision making is going to come on my shoulders. And what I say behind closed doors is going to be an interesting one because, yay, if you were a fly on the wall, you would actually know what happened.
Yeah, well, what we're going to do is we're going to do a series of reenactments. It's not just going to be one, it's going to be like seven or eight of them.
Mhm.
And we're going to basically go through chronologically, starting in 1993 or 1994 with Mike Harcourt. And we'll go through history and basically I titled the episode "The Bad Idea Hat," right? And we talked about this before in previous podcasts where we have to always talk about you know you wonder where governments get their ideas from if they're just gonna pull ideas from a bad idea and go, oh, that's a great idea, let's go with that one.
Mhm.
Because we'll be talking a little bit about Doug Ford too in Ontario, and we'll
Mhm.
finish off with uh, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as well.
Mhm.
Because those two are fair game as well. But the majority of the show will focus on here in BC because that's what you and I know. So
Mhm.
again, there's going to be seven or eight examples or reenactments.
And we're going to give as much factual information as we can on the reenactments. We're going to have some fun with it at the
We're gonna
same
have
time.
some fun with it for
Oh,
sure.
totally,
But
totally.
but but
Yeah.
but like it is based on things that actually happened,
Yes.
and some of these things that happened are actually tragic. We have to say
Very.
are actually very. I mean, that's why we're doing it, because some of these policies directly impacted uh, people's lives, or the loss of lives. We have to say
Mhm.
uh, the loss of lives of many people uh, directly from these bad decisions and bad idea hat decisions.
This segment is a pre-recorded session, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching this segment because all the reenactments are based on events that actually did happen. Please type in your comments in the comments section. What would you like to see made differently? What was your experience listening to the segment? Definitely put in your comments, and it will help us progress going forward with other show ideas too. In 1993-94, Mike Harcourt was premier, and we're talking about clawbacks. It's been a long 3 weeks since our last get together here. But the name of province. Well, the critics. Should we say? Remember, I mean, geez, like. I can't believe that I'm going to be doing this. But you know what? I think that it's best that we start reining in the income for the province. Yes, yes, that's what we need to do. We need to rein in the income for the province. And so that means that I need to cut and cut and cut. Yes. Mhm.
Well, I know it's been only about 3 weeks since your last when you got in front of the cameras
Mhm.
during the news hour,
Oh,
and you got in front of the cameras and you said that everybody on welfare was a cheat,
oh,
varmint, and deadbeat.
oh,
I just have to say that's not a good look for a premier. Mr. Premier.
remember. No, 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 no. You got it wrong. You got it wrong. I would never ever say that.
There was cameras that were recording and they got you saying that,
Oh,
Mr.
oh,
Premier.
they did. Oh, what was
Those
that? Was
words
that
came out of your mouth.
was that live TV? That was. Oh my gosh. Oh, that was live TV. I can't believe I said that. That's not what I meant. I meant there were cheats, varmints, and deadbeats. Why was I even thinking that? Why would I say that on live TV? I mean, that would have cooked myself right there. Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna do a, PWD clawback. So with the government, we can actually bring in more money for the province to make the investors happy. Right? We have to make them happy, and that's the only way. Basically, when I say clawback, meaning we're going to turn a pension, a PWD pension that's been in place for decades, because that would be the right thing to do, is to turn a pension into income based, means tested. I mean, you have to prove that you have a disability going forward. Yeah, because that's common sense, member.
Isn't a pension something that you work for? The only way you get a pension is through work. It's an employee benefit.
Oh,
So you're saying if you work for something,
gosh.
you're gonna claw that back
Yes, yes.
and say you actually didn't work for it, you didn't deserve it?
No, they don't deserve it. No, no, they're cheats, they're varmints, and they're deadbeats. That's how it works, right? I mean, they're disabled people. I mean, they need to put their money back into the economy. That's how it works.
So what pensions are we talking about here, Premier?
Well, we're talking about disability pensions. They should never have been made as a pension. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
What about survivors pensions? Are you going to claw those back too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's only fair, right? I mean, it's fair right across the board. I mean, if I'm going to claw back a disability pension, I'm going to claw back CPP survivors pensions too. Why not? I do that to seniors too. I don't want them to make more money. No, no, because that's, uh, I'm.
So
Yeah.
so I just want to make sure I have this right, Mike Harcourt. I just
Hmm.
want to make sure I have this right. So government now, the provincial government here in BC is in the business of deliberately punishing widows and widowers
Yes, yes.
during the most difficult time in their lives, where they just lost a spouse, and
Well,
and they're down one income. They're
yeah.
down one income, and then they have to support. They have to pay their mortgage. So somebody on disability assistance, if they just lost their spouse and they have to pay their mortgage, you're going to say that they don't deserve a pension that they worked for. We're gonna punish and victimize widows and widowers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they should just learn to live within their means, live on one income. I mean, easy come, easy go there, remember? That's just how the ball bounces. Sometimes people are going to be happy. They're not, other times they're not going to be happy. That's just how it works in society. I can't make everybody happy because, hey, I got to make myself happy, right? I got to make the investors happy, because if I don't look like I'm doing my job and I claw back, then I lose my job. I'm not losing my job over no member just because widowers basically paid into their CPP, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe in the future we may look back at this and say, "Oh, I screwed up." Well, I'll be long gone by then. And in 2002, the next scene will be Gordon Campbell. He was the premier. He wanted to reassess people with disabilities in the province of British Columbia, and he got pulled over for DUI. I'm Gordon Campbell. I'm in Maui right now. Beautiful trees, beautiful scenery. But for people with disabilities, I have a plan for you. I'm going to get you reassessed. Yeah. So when I got elected in 2001, I had an idea. I had a vision in my head. Yeah, in my head. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what I just said, right? DUI or something. I just kind of yeah. I got kind of dizzy on that one, but yeah. I mean, I got pulled over. Shh. I got pulled over for DUI, but then they turfed me out. But I mean, I mean, I think they wanted to turf me out, but hopefully they don't. But first of all, I need to make more money for the province, and due to doing that, I'm going to get people reassessed to see if they're still disabled in the province of British Columbia, because that's the right thing to do. Remember, do you agree with me?
Mr. Premier, I just want to see if I have this correct. So you're saying that all of the people with disabilities in the province,
Yes.
the ones that have been medically assessed
Yes.
by doctors,
Yes.
medically assessed by doctors
I'm a
that
doctor
that
too.
they have a disability, you're going to go against the doctor's uh, paid knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and expertise, and you're just going to have them all kicked off the system and reassessed again.
Oh yeah. I'm a doctor, because I like to have a couple of drinkies, here and there. And I had a vision that I was going to get pulled over. It was like a deja vu. Like I don't know. I'm hoping that doesn't come true, but I mean, whatever. I'll write out my term the best way I can. But in the meantime, first, I need to cut. I need to cut all the way across every single goddamn ministry there is. Member.
So what qualify? I just want to make sure I get this clear.
Yeah.
What qualifies you to be a doctor, Mr. Premier?
Well, because they always say have an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, have a drink a day keeps the doctor away, right? And that's why I say I'm a doctor, because I know best. And I know best that when people say they're disabled, well, are they really disabled, or are they just saying that? And so we have doctors too, right? But I know that people have their own doctors, and they say, well, there, we've deemed them as assessed, medically assessed, and designated as a person with disabilities in BC. Well, you know what? I say there's a job for everybody. You just get out there, and if you put your mind to it, you can conquer everything you want in life. You know what? It's mind over matter. So I want to cut from every single ministry, because the investors are telling me that's the best thing to do. That's my advice that I'm given from them. Is it the best thing to do, member? Do you think so?
So again, I'm just trying to clarify this.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you're saying just because you watched Doogie Howser
Yeah,
as a kid,
yeah,
just because you watched Doogie Howser as a kid,
yeah.
and Quincy
Quincy
and
Jones, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm. Hmm.
that qualifies you to be a doctor, Mr. Premier?
Oh yeah. Because I could just visualize myself being there, and I can operate on people. Yeah, make them better, make them stronger. They can put more of their wealth into the economy. I know some of the members at the table there. They're saying, well, if you just give them more money, they're going to put it back into the economy. Well, why don't just get them the job? They can get out there and work. Because that's work to rule, right? I mean, that's what we do. I want to cut across all ministries: transportation, education, healthcare, Ministry of Social Services, you name it. I'm going to go across, and I'm going to cut. People are going to lose their jobs. They're not going to be happy with me, but that's just the way it is. By the time they're not happy, I won't be premier anyway. The way I'm going. 3 weeks later, folks, thanks for joining us in our caucus meeting, this emergency caucus meeting. It was brought to my attention that I needed to call a meeting. I don't know why. I've already made my decision, but here we are. Why are we here? Why are we here, everyone? Tell me. Member, you can go first. Member of common sense. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, our worst,
Hmm. Hmm.
the worst thing happened, Mr. Premier.
Oh, worse
What
thing.
we suspected is when you said you're going to kick everybody off the disability assistance and get everybody reassessed,
Oh,
it
oh,
left people with no money,
no money.
and
Oh, oh,
and
that's
and
unfortunate.
people got worried. Some people
Hmm.
some people took their own lives, Mr. Premier.
Oh, oh, that's not
Some
good.
people committed suicide. We've had
Oh,
reports of a few people now committing suicide, Mr.
oh.
Premier. So there's blood on your hands now, Mr. Premier.
No, yeah, my hands look clean. They're clean right now. There's blood on my hands.
This
Oh,
this is this is not a good look for the provincial government, sir.
oh, no.
How are we going to explain that your direct decision to have everybody
Hmm.
kicked off of disability assistance so that you can get reassessed? How are we going to explain that that decision led to suicides?
Well, sometimes, yeah, our doctors they screw up, right? It's our doctors who examine the files. But really, they made a right decision at first. However, our government has a mandate to recoup money, and I figured that would be the easiest way to do it is to get people reassessed, so I could trim money off of every single ministry. You know what? Member, it's very unfortunate that there's people that had taken their own lives, they committed suicide, and or they're put through harm's way. It's just, sometimes that just happens in life, and I really apologetic that happened. It shouldn't have happened. We must do better, but at the end of the day, we gotta rein in the money. We gotta rein things in, right? Yep, yep, rein it in. Bad idea hat number 3. Christy Clark, the Premier of British Columbia in 2013. 2013, yeah, congratulations. Yay, I won. And I like to fly around and around, and who knows where I go. I always think that, bringing in a lot of investment into British Columbia, and that's why I'm on Air Christie nonstop flights from China all the way to British Columbia. Yeah, we made a new runway at YVR. Yeah, so nonstop flights and direct investments to British Columbia. And I think that people should be able to get around their communities. And that's why I think we need to take care of our most vulnerable in today's society. Today. Yeah. I know I'm kind of tongue tied, right? Yeah. When I say that, it nerves me up because the most vulnerable they need to have a place to live, and that's why we need to take care of our animals. They give them shelter. Member, member with common sense. Do you have any feedback on this? I'm on Air Christie. It's a little bit noisy on here, because the pilot just keeps revving up the engine.
Premier,
Yes.
are you saying that the most vulnerable in society are dogs? The most
Yes.
vulnerable in society are dogs?
Yes. Yes. Dogs and anyone who can go into a kennel.
So human beings have souls. Dogs do not have souls, right? So you're saying that human beings that are made in the image of God and we have souls, that human beings rank lower than pet dogs do. Is that what you're saying, Premier? I
Oh,
mean, just to be clear, because I know yourself. I know
yes.
yourself. You are a Christian. You're quite happy. You're quite proud to all every day say that you're a Christian. So are you saying that dogs have souls and and that they deserve better treatment than human beings? Is that what you're saying, Premier?
Oh, I'm saying that the shelter to cover dogs is a lot cheaper than providing the proper shelter for PWD. So we need to take care of our most vulnerable. It's cheaper doing it this way.
Again, I just want to be clear, Premier, is
Hmm.
that I know, like our province, we have lots of SROs
Oh, yes.
that are the single room occupancy places. They're not in very good. A lot of them aren't in very good
Oh,
condition. We already know that, right?
oh, how come?
A
Oh,
lot of them are rat infested places.
rats.
There's lots of rats. I mean, maybe that's more pets. Maybe
Oh,
that's more pets, right?
lots of pets.
We can look after the rats, maybe.
Oh,
We can look after the rats and mice.
yeah, it's a safe place to call home. I mean, get them off the street, put them in an SRO. Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
share the accommodation, share one washroom, all of you,
So
one washroom.
so we have SROs that I like. I'm just trying to be clear, Premier,
Hmm.
because I know the SPCA.
Oh yes.
There's SPCA. You can be fined uh from the SPCA for cruelty to animals, right?
Hmm.
If you lock
Cool.
your dog in a hot car,
Yeah.
and you get found out for leaving a dog in a hot car, you
Yes.
can be fined up to $5,000
Oh,
in your
oh,
for animal cruelty.
oh,
But I'm just trying to be clear because
yes.
I know our government
Mhm.
likes to lock PWD away in our SROs that
Yes.
are hot boxes during
Yep.
the summer.
Yep.
There's no air conditioning.
Nope.
Uh, like people can cook to death and basically die
Yeah.
from overheating.
Ugh. Yeah.
Is that not considered cruelty, Miss Premier?
Well, they make choices themselves. Unfortunately, that's the kind of environment that they want to live in. That's the first because that's what the first available kind of housing that we provide. We don't want to give them enough money. As my predecessor, Gordon Campbell, he wanted to get them reassessed, right? So I would say get a job. The job plan. The job plan is always the best way. It's very unfortunate that people perish inside of the hot boxes. Yeah, they need to be upgraded for sure. I agree, member, that we do need to do more. We need to do upscale rezoning, but that comes down to municipalities. That's not my problem. Yeah, that's up to each municipality to take care of their own citizens. I would say they have to just live within their means. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Some have more difficulties than others of coping in SROs. I do agree, though. Member, I do agree with you that we need to provide better housing. But it's cheaper for them to congregate together, more people into one housing. SRO, one washroom. Yep, yep. They did basically the day pass to get in there. You have the long lineup. The wiring is shot. It's just terrible. It's all wiring and no air conditioning. But we know we need to provide for our pets, though. We need to make sure that they are taken care of first. Then we take care of the people in SROs and the most vulnerable. We need to work with them to get them off the streets, however that may be. But the investors are expecting a rate of return, so we need to not raise their shelter rate. Is that what you're trying to tell me, member? Raise the shelter rate? Is that what you're trying to get at? Moving on to the next bad hat idea. Minister Stilwell, who was the Minister of Social Development and Innovation, bus pass clawback in 2016. Waiting to catch a bus. And I'm waiting to catch a bus. Yeah. And I don't need a bus pass. No, because I can get around. I get around in my wheelchair. And I've got a gold medal here that actually shows that I've awarded. I've earned that. I've earned that gold medal, Minister.
Well,
Member of common sense, but Minister. I mean, I've earned that gold medal.
I know that
Right here,
yeah.
number here. I'm going to Duncan, by the way, because that's easier for me to get on and off. It's really accessible. You should try it sometime, member.
Well, I can't afford a bus pass anymore.
No, why not? Why not?
It's too expensive now. You you jacked up the price. You made it like 8 times more expensive than it was before.
Well, we
I
took
was I was
we
I
took
was gonna
money
say
away.
I
So
was gonna say, Minister. Sorry to interrupt. I was gonna say I know that I know you love to pose with your medals. I know that you
oh
love
yeah.
to show off your
Mm,
gold medals,
mm,
Minister.
mm.
But I couldn't help but notice the last photo there. It you were posing with a war veteran,
Yes.
and you were flashing your medal next to the medal
Mm,
with the war veteran. So
mhm.
are you saying that your medal is just as important as the war veterans medal? I just want to
Absolutely.
be clear. I just want to be clear.
Oh, absolutely. Mine's heavier than the other one because I earned it. I carry the weight. I carry the weight with me. Oh yes, yes. And it's like all those bus passes. It weighs down because I took them all the way. So it is a lot of weight to carry on in that metal with it too. It's probably worth a lot more than a bus pass. The metal. Remember, I just finished talking to my other colleagues, and they were in a meeting, but I was able to get a hold of the premier, Christy Clark. She was on air. Christy, I know that you just finished having a meeting with her when she was on the plane. She loves flying around, but you know what? I came with a brilliant idea, member of Common Sense. It's brilliant. I talked to like maybe five, like maybe six tops people in a rural area of British Columbia to change a whole bus pass system because I wanted fairness and equity. And I think it was great. It was a fabulous idea. I take credit for it. I get the gold medal for that one, do I? Mm,
Okay, but I just want to be clear again.
mm.
I think when you if you're going to throw around terms of equity,
Oh,
I think you should know what equity means.
ooh.
Uh, Equity is a restorative term.
Mm.
You don't take something away and call it equity.
Oh,
Uh, you know, uh, all you've done by taking away the bus pass is you've equalized poverty across the system,
oh,
Minister.
oh,
You've
no, no,
equalized
no, no.
poverty.
Oh, no, no, member. They always have choices. I never took a bus pass away. Oh, no, 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 no. No, I replaced it with an option. You have a choice. You can have a bus pass or you don't have to have a bus pass. You can have $52. I mean, who doesn't want to have $52 in their pocket? Or they can have a bus pass. Opt in or opt out.
Yeah, this whole thing of opting in and opting out too, that's going to be
It's brilliant. It's
way more
brilliant, though.
staff
It's
to
brilliant.
do. To do the opting in and opting out. Why would you do that? You're going to hire more FTEs
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
to do the opt in and opt out every month.
Yep.
Every month, somebody has to decide if they want opt in and opt out of the bus pass, and
We
you're going to
got,
have to staff
yep. Yep.
like how many FTEs is it? Like
Hire
60 FTEs?
Oh yeah, hire more staff. Yeah, we need to hire more staff to monitor the system. I mean, it's about creating jobs, and that's what it's about. And
So it's creating more jobs for the public service
yeah, yeah,
for the
yeah.
government public service.
You
It's
got
not
it.
about creating jobs
No,
for the average British Columbian.
no, no, no. Exactly. You got it right. Remember, it's all about creating equity in the system, in our system.
And then I guess if somebody was fortunate enough to get a job, if somebody was fortunate enough to get a job that
Oh
had a
yeah.
disability,
Oh yeah.
you know, but they had no transportation,
Yeah.
that's fine, right? They didn't, doesn't matter if they can't get to
Easy,
their job. It doesn't matter if they can't get to their
easy come,
job or
easy
their
go.
doctor's appointments.
Easy come, easy go. They have to sacrifice. That's what it's about. Making choices, sacrificing. Sometimes you just go with it because that's what you got to do. When I say go with it, means that you have to basically try to manage on the best way that you can. Live within your means, and if that means that you have to sacrifice not having a bus pass, that's just the way it goes. I mean, you can stay opted in there, remember. And that's what I want the people at your board around here right now. You can stay opted in for a whole year, and it's all about equity. I think it's fairness because you know
Well, like again, all you're doing is you're equalizing the poverty across the whole system, Minister. And I don't think that makes it fair. When you equalize poverty, that's not making it fair. And I just don't understand somebody that is, you have a disability yourself, Minister.
Yes.
So you have a disability yourself. You think you would know. I know that you used to actually, I know that you used to be on assistance yourself you used to live in Alberta, and you were on disability assistance for a while in Alberta.
Oh, but we made more in Alberta, though. The rates were much higher in Alberta than they were in British Columbia. I know that there's been a lot of discussions with my colleagues about raising the rates in British Columbia, but it's all taxes. It's all about taxes. Alberta, the rates are higher. Cost of living's higher in BC. We'd like to do more. Maybe perhaps in the future, yeah, maybe we could actually do that. But right now, we have to be fiscally responsible because, remember years ago, back in 1993, 94, the premier at the time, he really tightened the belt. He took away pensions.
Yeah,
And
cheats, farmers, and deadbeats. We're all familiar with that. For the last 2 years, you've been training 24/7. You've been training
yeah,
for
really, yeah.
the Rio Olympics, the Paralympics
I have to strengthen my arms, right?
in Rio, the
Yeah.
2016 Olympics in Rio. You've been training 24/7. So
Yeah.
that means that
Hard
you
work.
haven't actually been able to do your job as a minister.
Oh, absolutely.
You've
Oh,
just
yeah.
been collecting your salary as minister.
I got
But
pulled for that.
in reality, you've been just training this whole time,
I can take class
and
too.
on taxpayers' dime, taxpayers have put a gym in your own office,
Oh,
a gym where you
isn't
can
that
work out
wonderful?
every day.
Oh, yeah. I can
And so you've
exercise
been
all the
working out
time.
every day for the Paralympics, and I don't think you've done any of your job as a minister, but you're still collecting your paycheck. I don't I'm not sure I understand that, Minister.
Well, the disabled people, they're never grumbling about this. I've heard from people at my doorstep, and they tell me, oh, well, it'd be nice to get to, to go to a gym. And I say, well, you could go and just have $52. Go and take a taxi with a accessible wheelchair taxi. Take it to the gym. But then they tell me I can't afford it, but I can. I mean, I'm a member. I mean, I have privilege. I have privilege. That's why I have a gym inside my office. Yeah.
Well, I know you've been very vocal about the
mm,
housing allowance for the MLAs. You're saying that the housing allowance isn't enough for the
yeah, it's not
MLAs.
enough. I can't find anywhere to rent for $1,000, and then it went to 1,200. We have to submit receipts in order to prove that we can't find housing for a certain amount, right? But I know people keep telling me 375, minister, it's not enough. Well, you know what? That's the choice that you make. You choose to live in market housing. You can go and live under BC housing. You can go on a long waiting list and you can wait. The Bad Hat Idea, John Horgan, Premier of British Columbia, 2017, and working with Alliance with the BC Green Party. Welcome, member of Common Sense. Thank you for joining me and all of my other colleagues at our convention. It was great success. But today, thank you for joining us in our conference meeting. It's all about common sense. About restoring a bus pass. When I was in opposition, you all know that I kept saying we got to restore the $45 a year bus pass. Yeah, I mean, come on, But you know what? The number crunching basically showed that the member who brought that in before, that was going to save us a lot of money, and fairness and equity. Opt in, opt out. I don't think that's a great idea. Remember that? Do you remember that when I was in opposition?
Of course, everybody remembers that, John. Everybody remembers that.
Right, but the system's broken though.
The thing I don't understand though is that seniors
Oh,
are
here.
elderly seniors. They still get the bus pass.
Oh,
So
exactly. Oh,
so
perfect.
by not restoring the bus pass for PWD, uh, our provincial government is basically deliberately targeting only people with disabilities. Isn't
Yep.
wouldn't you
Yep.
call that discriminatory, Premier? You wouldn't call it discriminatory to
Oh,
deliberately target people with disabilities?
oh, well, they don't need to go around anywhere anyway, really. I mean, seniors, they put a lot into our society. We need to take care of our seniors. The people with disabilities, yeah, it's unfortunate that their lifestyle is the way it is. I mean, they're born that way. It's no fault of their own, but do they really need to get around the community? Hmm.
Let's also talk about the basic income, because the basic income pilot project, because I know that was a big commitment that you made with the BC Greens and
Hmm.
Andrew Weaver. Uh, I just talk about that for a moment, please.
Yeah, basic income. It was a fabulous idea, wasn't it? But the stakeholders basically told me after doing some number crunching that economically it was going to cost the province way too much money, and I figured giving it to some people and other people, no, it wasn't going to be fair. Fairness and equity in the system. Why give it to some and then the other ones no? Because then they're going to watch. It's like somebody watching somebody eating a nice, good steak dinner, right? Saying, "Wouldn't that be nice? Can I have a bite?" No, no, no. It's like basic income. You can have it, but you can't have it. It's like having a bus pass. You can have it, but you can't. It's all about choices, right? And basic income. Well, yeah, I don't think we didn't want it to work. I don't think the Greens wanted it to work either, really. Either one of us did, and so we just kind of put on a little charade of, yeah, it's not going to work. Yeah.
The big promise that was made by not just you, but by almost every MLA was parroting the same thing.
Promises,
That
promises, promises. Yeah.
yeah, that you were going to eliminate the PWD clawback,
Oh,
that you were going to
did I
eliminate it.
say that? Oh,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this whole ending the clawback was your idea. And
mhm.
and
It was.
again,
It was. Yes. Yeah.
I think, people that know you know that you were raised by a single mother, because
Yeah.
your father died when you were young. Is
Yes. Yes.
right? Your father died when you were young.
Yes.
So you were raised by a single mom,
Yeah.
and your single mom struggled, right? I mean,
Very much so. Very much so.
you've shared the stories with other MLAs here.
Hmm.
You've shared the stories of how hard it was for your mom as a single mom,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh, to raise to raise you all by herself
Yeah.
with very limited money. So, and I know in the lead up to the election, that was why you wanted to end the clawbacks, because you realized, it really isn't fair for widows and widowers to be punished
Hmm.
to be
Hmm.
punished for the death of their spouse. It's not fair for widows and widowers to be punished for the death of their spouse.
I agree. I agree. And it's not fair. And unfortunately, I wanted to end the clawbacks, but the powers to be above me would not allow me to do it. It was the gatekeepers. Remember, it was the gatekeepers that they told me, John, you do this, and you might as well go and find a new career, right? I said, well, I needed to fix the system. I wanted to, I wanted to restore the bus pass. Okay, and I ran on that. And when I was in opposition, I was really targeting, throwing bows and arrows, hand grenades, and missiles, everything you could throw. I mean, the garbage can, my lunch. I threw my lunch at the member, and I said, like, just give them back their bus pass and stop the clawbacks. I wanted all this stuff done, but nobody would allow me to do it.
David Eby took over from Premier John Horgan in November of 2022.
Thank you very, very much for electing me as premier. My predecessor, Premier John Horgan, had to step down due to major health reasons. Yeah, and it's unfortunate, but you know what? It's now I'm now premier, so I'm going to now continue on his legacy the best way I can. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm not John Horgan. I just want everybody to know. I know John would do his best. He tried to make everybody happy, but he said he couldn't make everybody happy. And I'm not John Horgan, and I'm not going to make everybody happy.
I think it's very clear. I think it's very clear that you are not John Horgan. I think it's very obvious that you're not John Horgan.
No, I'm David. I'm David. Yeah,
Yeah.
not John Horgan. No, nope.
You know, I know that you are best buddies with you're best buddies with Prime Minister Trudeau.
Oh, yeah,
Uh, you know,
Justin.
and you've both like worked together to
Hmm.
legalize hard drugs like fentanyl.
Ooh.
You worked really hard to legalize it.
Hmm.
And now there's so many more addictions.
It's unfortunate.
Kids that are 10 years old, kids that are 10 years old are getting hands on on these drugs, and it's killing them, Premier. It's killing them.
Oh, I know. It's not good. It's not good. I mean, children should not be getting a hold of drugs.
Well, then why did you legalize it? Why did you go ahead and legalize hard drugs, Premier?
Well, I guess I make decisions that doesn't always make. I really feel really sorry for the children and the families who've lost their loved ones. I made mistakes. I made mistakes on this pilot project. I probably shouldn't have went with it. I know that in Oregon, the state of Oregon in the United States, they had a pilot project going too, and we were keeping very close tabs on what was happening there. And it wasn't working there. It wasn't working. We were told that no, it's not working. BC, do not go there on this. Do not. We decided to keep going.
That you've adopted this whole catch and release thing.
Oh yes.
Where you have repeat offenders, violent repeat offenders.
Oh, I know.
That are committing these horrible violent acts. Just the other day, we had a man that was very violently attacked at a store. He's still hospitalized, Premier. He's still hospitalized.
I know.
And the
two
people that committed the assault,
people
that committed the physical assault, they got released. They got released from police custody in less than 12 hours.
Well, because
12 hours.
Well, because my friend Justin, he didn't want to fix the bail system. I mean, just tweak it a little bit, in the federal. It's just a bail reform. Yeah, that's what it is. The bail reform system. We didn't want to. We didn't really want to go there with that. With the prime minister to get him to fix it fully. I personally wanted him to, but we just wanted to tweak things in the province the best way we could. But I told my friend Justin, come on, let's fix the bail reform. And unfortunately, he says, well, we can't fully fix it. I go, why? Bad hat idea for Premier Doug Ford in Ontario. When I became Premier, member of Common Sense, my mandate was about the pilot project with the basic income. I was told, yeah, keep it on, Doug. Yeah, but I agree. That I was changing people's lives when I got on. I know that in British Columbia they were studying that at the same time, but they just, I guess they didn't want it to succeed. That's not my problem. I'm in Ontario. They're on the West Coast. The Greens and the NDP, I don't know, they just didn't seem to want that basic income to happen. But I was told, keep it on, Dougie, keep it on. So I said, well, yeah, but it was going to change people's lives. It was going to make things better. So I said, nah, scrap it. I got my minister to come out and give a media release. What do you think? Wasn't that a great media release saying it's not changing, it's changing people's lives, so we need to get rid of it? Yeah, and all this talk about doubling ODSP. Wow, how about just get them a job? That's what they need to do. Get out there and work.
Yeah, so your strategy instead is to put a bunch of booze into all of the stores. Is that right? So all of our 7-Elevens and Max Milks And all of the grocery stores, they'll all have hard liquor in them now.
Isn't that convenient? Oh, I mean, you could just go to your 7-Eleven, grab a grab a sixer and pounder back. Yeah, I mean, I promote it. I mean, isn't that great? I mean, convenience, right? I mean, go and get a cold one right out of the cooler. 7-Eleven, go and grab a hot dog or something, maybe some pizza, 7-Eleven pizza.
Have some Jack Daniels with your Slurpee.
Sure, just pour it in there. Yeah, I mean, hey, I got to keep the investors happy. I mean, that's what they told me. They told me, you do this, Dougie, and I'll vote for you. Yeah, yeah.
We'll all be happier when we're drunk. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. They can just go on their bicycle and they can just jump in the car or just, they just drive all over and they're drunk as can be. Yeah, I mean, why not, right? I mean, yeah, it's unfortunately, some people are maybe get hurt. Yeah, I know. It's not a smart idea, right? Yeah. And I never thought it was a smart idea, but still somebody came along and said, well, look how much money you're going to make on taxes. I thought, wow, yeah, taxes. I could build all these tunnels everywhere. I can get rid of all the green space, build all these factories and taxes, make more money. There's been discussions, remember, about doubling ODSP. They should be happy that I tied it to inflation, that I was the first premier besides Alberta to tie it to inflation. What else do they want me to do? I mean, automatically it goes up every year. I don't have to increase the rates though. It just gets tied to inflation. I mean, they have to live within their means. They don't like it. Get them a job. Get them a job. Yeah, damn, hang on. What was that? Saving the best for last. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, the bad hat idea. I'm out front here in front of a former 7-Eleven store in Fraser Valley, Langley, British Columbia. Yeah, this place was just humming. I mean, it was busy for decades. Yeah, I remember when my father, I grew up out there, and he used to take me for Slurpees here. Yeah, now it looks like there's it's all boarded up right now. I mean, as you see behind me, I mean, it's got fencing around here and there's homeless camps everywhere. I mean, I don't understand. Well, why is there so many people homeless across this beautiful country, especially out in the Fraser Valley? I mean, this place here, I should go and buy hot dogs and Slurpees there, but yeah, not anymore. And it's all these people lost their jobs. I mean, they all lost their jobs. It just really upsets me. Maybe I don't know, maybe and all the drug paraphernalia across the country now. It's terrible. I was told that we need to smarten up as a country and get rid of all these drugs and all these weapons and the drug cartels and I don't know how to do it. I don't know. Remember, do you know? Do you have the first clue how I do all that? I don't know. I mean, my vote's getting bought, I guess. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I was talking to your best friend in BC, David Eby.
Oh, David.
I know the two of you are like this. You're best buddies, right?
Yeah.
And
I was with Christy too.
You have the market cornered. Between the two of you, you have the market cornered on bad ideas. Let me tell you. Because I know the idea for legalizing drugs. It started with you. And now you have boarded up 7-Elevens.
It was a
you
pilot.
have a dramatic increase in tent cities.
I know that David did a pilot project that he's in British Columbia, and he sat on it for 2 years, but he got a leaked document saying it wasn't working.
Ooh. Well, then he blamed he blamed the bad actors. He blamed them. It wasn't the government's fault.
No, it was the bad actors. Yeah.
Yeah, he blamed the bad actors.
It's unfortunate, right? I mean, I know like the leaked document came out and said, well, don't do it this way, right? It was the bad actors, and I admit that I need to change the reform system. I guess the next administration, when they get in, maybe they'll get around to it eventually. I know the opposition critics. There's all the other ones are all telling me they change it, and yeah, I just don't have that political will to change it. I know I should. I know I should. It would actually get rid of all the crime, all the homelessness. Yeah, I feel sorry, member. I really do. I feel sorry for the people that are on the streets that are homeless, that are drug addicted. It's not no fault of their own in many cases. And yeah,
But we're going to punish them anyway, even though it's not their fault. We're going to punish them anyway.
well, it's like I should have not messed around with the housing market too. That would have really solved a lot of things too. It would have put less strain on our healthcare system because I do these transfer payments to all the provinces, and they're saying, "Well, I want more healthcare some money." Well, I guess they would have more. I mean, if I dealt with the other, I could now give more money, but I gave it all away to other countries. I gave the money away. I got the that machine was just pumping money out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I know that the next administration is going to have a lot of work to do, clean up all the mess that I caused. Yeah, yeah.
Now you have this Canada Disability Benefit, and
Oh, yeah. Isn't that funny how I love to just do the bait and switch on that? Do you love that? Remember? I mean, 5 years, 5 years. I kept them dangling, little carrot there. Oh, help is on the way. Help is on the way. I made those announcements every morning during COVID times. I came out of the cottage. Man, that was freaking cold as hell. I tell you, I was standing here going, whew, and I thought, well, if the homeless people were, not basically taken care of, I thought, well, what about people with disabilities? Yeah, they all live at home. They live at home. They live at home with their mom and dad. They live at home. They don't pay market rent. I mean, that's why I wasn't any urgent. I wasn't any urgency to make things better. I promised. Promises get broken. Promises, promises, promises. Is that okay? I mean, does that make sense there? Remember that if I make a promise, I don't need to keep it.
oh, it sounds a lot like David Eby. I'll give you that. So
Oh,
I just want to understand that, you're not a big believer in autonomy then. You're saying that people with disabilities don't deserve autonomy.
no,
They don't deserve to have a good life where they can afford to eat good food and live in a safe, secure
no.
home.
That's why I kept voting down the other members' bill all the time. I said, no, I didn't want to make things affordable. I didn't want to make things better for people. And that's why, because I figured to do the right thing. Oh, no, it was going to actually make things better. So I wanted to do the wrong thing. I want to delay the Canada Disability Benefit as long as I can. I'll make it as an election ploy. I said that from day one, that I was going to try and hang on and tweak things to make things better. But when the minister came to me and said, well, this is a brilliant idea, Prime Minister, my boss, this is a great idea. I looked at it. Yeah, but that's going to make things better for people. So I want to do the opposite. So I always say, I'll come out and tell the media, this is what I'm going to do. But you know what? No media seemed to be caring about asking me the question. So I figured, hell with it. I'm going to do it my way.
The previous minister was doing her job too well, right?
She
She was
was.
doing her job too well, so you
That's why
just
I had
canned
to
her.
I had to shuffle her out, and I moved
Yeah.
her out into another cabinet, and I brought in another person who said, you know what, I don't care either, so I'm just going to keep on going the same way. But the other one was caring too much. That's the problem, right? It was going to get done the right way, but I think I'm going to use it. They'll use it as an election, though, carrot truck there, and to try to buy votes. I think that's brilliant. Buy votes. Thank you, everyone, for watching today's segment. I hope you enjoyed the chronological order of the events that did happen behind closed door meetings. The policymakers make these decisions, just being like a fly on the wall, watching what went on. And so, again, I want to thank everyone for watching today's segment. Living in poverty, it really affects everyone's lives. They're all interconnected across Canada. Affects healthcare, everything. Your well-being. So raising the rates to no less than poverty level financial support benefits not just the individual, but it also benefits communities. People will prosper. It helps people and communities. People will basically be able to really put a lot of their resources back in, and it really prospers the person's well-being. It puts less strain on the healthcare system too. So no more baby steps. no more, there's more to do, always excuses, oh, when the fiscal situation allows. And this goes across all of Canada, British Columbia, all the way to the Maritime provinces. I mean, you name it. We're all one beautiful country. So let's actually show that we can actually show leadership and actually putting an end to poverty. Don't go skipping a year and then saying, "Well, look what we did. We're going to give money back 2 years later." And it's, hey, but we raised the rates 5 times. It just drives me batty. It's rhetoric. And this goes with every premier and the prime minister too. So thank you, everyone. That's my rant and rave, and also thanks for tuning in.
Thanks everyone.
I mean, anyone who has worked all their life, they pay into CPP, but we need to make that money back. So we need to claw that back too.